Have you ever wondered why empaths often find themselves entangled with narcissists? It's a question that has puzzled many, leaving people scratching their heads in confusion. The answer lies in the complex interplay of energy, wounds, and unmet needs. This dynamic is not just a simple case of opposites attracting, it's much deeper and more intricate. On the surface, empaths and narcissists seem like polar opposites. Empaths are deeply feeling individuals who can sense and absorb the emotions of others, often to their own detriment. Narcissists, on the other hand, are characterized by their inflated sense of self-importance and a lack of empathy. They crave admiration and validation, often at the expense of those around them. Despite their differences, a powerful, often destructive dynamic draws these two personality types together. It's a dance of giving and taking, where the empath's empathy becomes a magnet for the narcissist's need for admiration and validation. The empath often unconsciously seeks to heal and fix the narcissist, believing that their love and compassion can fill the void within them. This belief is deeply rooted in the empath's desire to help and nurture. Unfortunately, this rarely ends well. The narcissist, skilled at manipulating emotions, exploits the empath's giving nature, leaving them drained and depleted. This pattern can continue for years, leaving the empath feeling lost, confused, and questioning their own worth. Understanding the dynamics of this attraction is the first step toward breaking free and creating healthier, more fulfilling relationships. By recognizing these patterns, empaths can learn to set boundaries and protect their emotional well-being. It's essential for empaths to realize that they cannot change a narcissist, no matter how much love and compassion they offer. True healing comes from within, and both parties must be willing to work on themselves. By understanding these dynamics, empaths can break free from the cycle and find relationships that are based on mutual respect and genuine care. This journey of self-discovery and empowerment is crucial for their emotional health and happiness. The Empath-Narcissist Dance is a complex and often painful experience, but with awareness and effort, it is possible to step out of this pattern and into a more balanced and fulfilling life. This pattern can continue for years, leaving the empath feeling lost, confused, and questioning their own worth. But with the right support and understanding, they can reclaim their power and find true happiness. Understanding the dynamics of this attraction is the first step toward breaking free and creating healthier, more fulfilling relationships. By recognizing these patterns, empaths can learn to set boundaries and protect their emotional well-being. The attraction between empaths and narcissists can be incredibly intense, often resembling a moth drawn to a flame. Empaths, with their compassionate hearts and ability to deeply understand others, are naturally drawn to those they perceive as hurting or in need of help. Narcissists, despite their outward confidence, often emit an aura of vulnerability and a hidden well of pain. This hidden pain stems from a deep-seated lack of self-worth that the narcissist constantly tries to mask with their grandiose facade. Empaths, finely tuned to emotional undercurrents, pick up on this underlying pain and are drawn to alleviate it. They believe that their love, understanding, and compassion can heal the narcissist's wounds. This desire to heal often stems from the empath's own unresolved issues, particularly around self-worth and a need for validation. This creates a complex, often toxic dynamic where both individuals are drawn together by their unhealed wounds. The relationship between an empath and a narcissist is often characterized by an imbalance of energy, where one person is constantly giving, and the other is perpetually taking. It's a dynamic of giving and taking, where the empath constantly pours their energy into trying to fix or save the narcissist, often at great personal cost. Empaths are naturally giving individuals, often described as emotional sponges, because of their ability to absorb the emotions of those around them. They feel deeply and are highly sensitive to the emotional states of others. They are drawn to helping others, often to the detriment of their own needs. This selflessness can lead them to neglect their own well-being in favor of supporting those they care about. Narcissists, on the other hand, are masters at taking. They are skilled at manipulating situations to ensure they receive the maximum amount of attention and admiration. They thrive on attention, admiration, and validation, often draining the energy of those around them. Their need for constant validation can be exhausting for those in their orbit. This creates a dangerous cycle where the empath's giving nature is continuously exploited by the narcissist's insatiable need for attention and validation. The empath gives and gives, while the narcissist takes and takes. The empath, in their desire to heal and fix, often overlooks the narcissist's manipulative tactics, leaving themselves vulnerable to emotional exhaustion and depletion. They may ignore red flags, hoping things will improve. Understanding these energy dynamics is crucial for empaths to break free from this unhealthy pattern. Recognizing the signs of manipulation and setting boundaries can help protect their emotional well-being. One of the key reasons why empaths and narcissists are drawn to each other is the presence of a shared wound, lack of self-worth. This wound often stems from early life experiences where both individuals felt unworthy or not good enough. This might seem counterintuitive at first, given the stark differences in their outward behaviors. After all, narcissists are often perceived as having an inflated sense of self-importance, always seeking admiration and validation from others. However, this grandiosity is often a facade, a defense mechanism to protect a fragile ego, and a deep-seated belief that they are not good enough. Beneath the surface, they are plagued by insecurities and self-doubt. Empaths, on the other hand, often struggle with setting boundaries and prioritizing their own needs. They tend to absorb the emotions of those around them, often at the expense of their own well-being. They may have grown up feeling responsible for the emotional well-being of others, leading to a diminished sense of self-worth. This constant caregiving can leave them feeling drained and unappreciated. This shared wound of lack of self-worth creates a subconscious recognition and attraction between the empath and the narcissist. They see in each other a reflection of their own inner struggles. The empath sees in the narcissist a reflection of their own struggles with self-worth, hoping to heal through understanding and compassion. While the narcissist is drawn to the empath's giving nature, hoping to fill their own void, they seek the empath's attention and care to validate their worth. However, this dynamic is ultimately unsustainable as it doesn't address the root cause of the wound. Both individuals must work on their self-worth independently to break free from this cycle. Section 5. An Anecdote of Over-Giving. Let me share an example of this dynamic in action. I once worked with a client, Sarah, a highly empathetic individual who constantly found herself in relationships with narcissistic partners. In her last relationship, Sarah went above and beyond for her partner, Mark. She would cook his favorite meals, even though he rarely offered to help in the kitchen. She would often rearrange her schedule to accommodate his last-minute plans, neglecting her own needs and desires. When Mark would act dismissive or critical, Sarah would shower him with even more affection, believing that her love would eventually fix him. However, no matter how much Sarah gave, it was never enough for Mark. He continued to take advantage of her kindness, leaving Sarah feeling emotionally drained and unappreciated. Sarah's story is a classic example of how an empath's over-giving nature can be exploited in a relationship with a narcissist. Section 6. The Struggle to Receive. Why do empaths like Sarah struggle to receive? The answer is complex and often rooted in early childhood experiences. Many empaths grow up in environments where their emotional needs were not consistently met. They may have learned to suppress their own needs in order to please others or to avoid conflict. This pattern of putting others' needs before their own often carries into adulthood, making it challenging for empaths to receive love, care, and support. The act of receiving requires a sense of worthiness, a belief that they are deserving of love and care. For empaths who struggle with self-worth, receiving can feel uncomfortable or even undeserved. This creates a vicious cycle where empaths continue to give, hoping to receive validation and love through their actions, but their struggle to receive prevents them from truly feeling fulfilled. Section 7. Unmasking the motivation behind over-giving. Empaths often overgive as a way to feel loved, validated, and worthy. They may subconsciously believe that their worthiness is tied to how much they give to others. This pattern often stems from childhood experiences where their emotional needs were not consistently met. As a result, they learn to associate love and validation with giving and pleasing others. The act of giving becomes a way to control their environment and to feel a sense of self-worth that is lacking internally. However, this type of giving is often conditional. It comes with the expectation of receiving love and validation in return. When these expectations are not met, as is often the case in relationships with narcissists, empaths are left feeling hurt, resentful, and even more depleted. Section 8. Healing the core wound, the path to self-acceptance. For both empaths and narcissists, the journey towards healthier relationships begins with healing the core wound of lack of self-worth. This requires a deep dive into self-discovery, understanding the root cause of their patterns, and learning to cultivate a sense of self-love and acceptance. For empaths, this involves setting healthy boundaries, learning to prioritize their own needs, and recognizing their inherent worthiness. It means understanding that their value doesn't come from how much they give, but from who they are at their core. Narcissists, on the other hand, need to confront their deep-seated insecurities, challenge their need for control and validation, and develop a sense of empathy and compassion for others. Healing is a journey, not a destination. It requires patience, self-compassion, and a willingness to challenge deeply ingrained beliefs and patterns. Section 9. Breaking the cycle. Attracting healthy relationships. Breaking free from the empath-narcissist dynamic requires conscious effort and a shift in perspective. Empaths need to stop over-giving and start prioritizing their own needs. They need to recognize that their worthiness is not tied to how much they give to others. This involves setting healthy boundaries, learning to say no without guilt, and prioritizing their own well-being. It's about shifting from a place of lack to a place of abundance, recognizing that they are worthy of love and respect simply for being themselves. By cultivating self-love and self-worth, empaths can break free from the cycle of attracting narcissistic relationships and create space for healthier, more fulfilling connections. Remember, you teach people how to treat you by what you allow, what you stop, and what you reinforce.